Welcome to my channel. Welcome, Jérôme.
Hello.
Hello. So I'm Paris Art, for Roxanne, it's my name. Paris for the city that I left 13 years ago. Now I live in Barcelona. And arts because I do arts. And also I animate this podcast called People Doing Cool Things in Barcelona. The purpose of this podcast is to connect locals and internationals by showcasing talents and breaking down some prejudices that we can have about each other. And today I have a guest, which is also my friend, Jérôme, also named Sunboy on Instagram. And why you're here, it's because you embodies an expression that I will read because it's not the same in French. The jack of all trades. You are living through your hobbies, which interests me a lot because even if I'm a creative, I told you about the art in Paris Art, my name, but really I have a corporate job apart from that. And you literally live through your hobbies. You're a very creative person, and I wanted to know more about your lifestyle, how you can develop it in Barcelona, and what are your plans in the future.
Okay.
So, as a start, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah. So my name is Jerome. I'm from the north of England, but I live in Barcelona now, obviously.
For how long?
7 years altogether, but I've lived here 4 different times. So the first time 12 years ago for 10 months, then I left and came back. Left and came back, left and came back.
Did you come for the studies or for...
No, I did a ski season in France, met a girl there. We did interrailing, and then we got to Barcelona in June.
Okay.
So it's hard to leave Barcelona in June.
So you came for love, like 60% of the internationals here?
And then we stayed.
Okay.
And then I fell in love with Barcelona, and then I've lived here 4 times since then.
Okay, have you been living in other parts of the world?
Yeah, I lived in France in the ski season for 4 months, and then
my country, woohoo!
Yeah. Boo! I'm joking. Then I lived in Australia twice. So I lived in Australia for 1.5 years altogether, New Zealand for 1 year, Japan for 1 year, and then here 4 times.
Okay, and why did you choose to stay in Barcelona?
I think for me it has a perfect balance of everything. It has the weather, it has the people, it has things to do, and I'm a skateboarder as well, so coming here the first time was it's the capital of the world of skateboarding. So, but yeah, I just love I think it's got the perfect balance of the work-life balance, even for people that do corporate jobs.
Yes.
People don't take it too seriously, whereas when I lived in London, the work-life balance is the complete opposite way around. It's like you work all the time and you have the weekend, which is why English people binge drink so much, because the rest of the week there's not a lot
Spanish people and internationals here are also drinking a lot.
But it's like a constant thing, and it's mixed in with socializing, whereas in the UK it seems it's more big on the weekend because that's when you see everybody together. So everybody goes a bit crazy. Yeah,
I feel it was the same in Paris. When I left, like people are so working so hard, and also the career is so important socially that they forgive a little bit, or they think that they will enjoy the money that they make or the reputation that they are building later. Yeah. So they are like buzzing, no? They run everywhere, like we know the Parisian path. You know, when someone is walking so fast that this person is pushing you, and
to me that's a bit of the trick that like society plays, though. It's like, if you're more career focused, a lot of people in the UK, they want to retire at, let's say, 65.
Yeah.
Which with things moving on like it's doing in France, they keep moving the age later and later. But when they retire at 65, you're at a point in your life where your body you can't just go climb Tibidabo or go run around as much as you could. So you're waiting for a time where your body's not at the best point to go and do something you could have done 20 years before, just with a little less money. So it seems a bit counterproductive to me that you would aspire to do something you could do way earlier in a better point of your life.
I totally agree, and I have actually this conversation really regularly with my mom, who just decided to retire. And she's like, oh, wow, it was time because I still feel a little bit energetic. I still can do things and discover. She just started yoga, for example. But I would say 5 years over, and it would be a totally different situation. And as you said, in France, we are every year considering to make retirement later and later. But this way of thinking, even for Barcelona, which is a very creative city or city full of people coming here to do art, but not art just painting, but also actors and models. Actually, until now, I thought you were almost only a model, but preparing this interview, you told me about so many other things. We will come to that. But this way of seeing life, does it come from your parents, or is it something that you built through your trips?
I'm not too sure, to be honest. I think my mum's always been very hands-off because she knows I'm a very stubborn person. So she kind of just like, okay.
Do whatever you want.
Kind of through my parents, but from a hands-off approach, if that makes sense. I think you can either be given a path that makes sense. I have a friend, Scully, and his family is like perfect. So I can see if you've got something perfect in front of you.
What's a perfect family?
For me, a perfect family is not specific for me, but I think the concept of a perfect family is just a family that's close, a family that does a lot of things together, a family that's kind and creative. Like his dad would wake up at 6 a.m. to do Tai Chi, and like his mum works as a nurse, but not because they need the money. They're quite well off because she likes helping people.
Okay.
And he has 2 twin sisters, and they still sit at a table. And like on Christmas Eve, everyone goes to the Scolies, and they have like a big gathering, like that kind of like TV perfect.
Okay.
And it works and it's nice. So I could see how if you had a path in front of you, why would you go against something that makes sense? Whereas if you don't have the same family dynamic, you're kind of searching and making your own way. Maybe you have less people guiding you because there's not a precedent in front of you. So your mind's a bit more open to what you like specifically. And then I guess that ties in a little bit. You have, I think if you have very hands-off parents, like, or you have a mum or a dad that isn't on the scene, you get a lot of your morals from TV, weirdly.
Okay.
Like, being someone that my dad wasn't there, I think you have a lot of good father figures on TV, like Uncle Phil on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And you kind of make a weird connection to that because it's something that's missing.
Okay.
So then you start adhering to more of the morals of that, I guess.
So you think you explore also a little bit by yourself to compensate maybe, or to search for something that wouldn't have been transmitted to you?
Yeah, I think so. I think it can be a good thing and a bad thing, like it's not that you have less support, but having a little bit less guidance can be difficult when you're figuring out what you want to do. But also it means that your brain can kind of make whatever connection it wants to do. So, for example, with me, with the traveling, I have a lot of friends that they're into careers and they think a bit different. So they think of the problems that come with traveling instead of the benefits that could come. So
you mean the costs? That's
the cost, the costing time in terms of your career, what you're going to do. Most countries that I've gone to, I've gone with no job. Like, what if you don't find a job? What if you don't find friends?
Since which age, more or less, were you traveling by yourself? Or maybe not by yourself?
After university, so 20, 21, 22.
Okay. So without a job, like not even having earnings? No.
A little bit of money for the flight and the first month.
Okay.
But if you have to find a job, if anything, you're going to find one easier because you have to find one. If you have a lot of money, I think I'd take my foot off the gas a little bit and maybe take my time a bit and enjoy the place. Whereas if you've got 1 month of money, it's like, I have to find a job.
Okay. But I can imagine in France, we were having this conversation before the start of the live, that you didn't need working on the ski slopes really to speak French to communicate with people. Yeah. But what about Japan? Or
I went to the north of Japan. So I went to a ski resort again.
Okay.
So you have a lot of
internationals.
Yeah. And then from that, I worked in Nagoya, which is the 3rd biggest city, but no one really knows it because it's around Kyoto and things like that. So people don't visit there too much. And we worked it's called kakigori. It's like a Japanese shaved ice thing.
I believe
so we were working like the entire time with everybody speaking Japanese, and you can learn enough to get by. It's not that I wouldn't say I speak Japanese like in the slightest, but I'd say that I learned enough to do my job and have conversations. And it's like sometimes with the language barriers, it's a barrier on both sides. So you both trying to make you're speaking to a lot of people that they didn't speak any English and you do speak Japanese, so it's like making, and it usually works out, I found.
Do you think anyone could do that, and anyone could do that all their lives? Or is it a young way of living when you're discovering, learning, and with the plasticity or the empathy raising, because you don't know about the cruelty of humanity?
Yeah, I'd say it's probably a young thing to do. And I think it's unfortunate that certain languages have more benefit. So speaking English, you have this privilege that you haven't earned, that it's the language that's easiest to get by in most places.
Yeah, even in Asia.
Everywhere, I would say.
Okay.
So you have this privilege, so maybe other people's experience wouldn't be the same. So it's, maybe I can only speak from a personal thing of, maybe if I only spoke French, it would be a lot harder. But,
yes. It was my case when I arrived here at 20 years old, because in France we have, I don't know if it changed because the school system changed a lot since I was young. But when I was in high school, for example, we were so afraid to emit a sound that wouldn't sound proper French, that we would only, in language classes, we would write and never speak up about anything. That's also why my generation and the previous ones have this terrible sticky accent in every language. Okay, so concretely, what makes someone like you choose that financial insecurity compared to your friends that focused on careers?
I don't know. Maybe it's a case of if you didn't have something, you don't miss it. So I've traveled and lived like all over the world with no money. So the idea now that I would suddenly give things up for money doesn't make any sense to me. Whereas my friends that are maybe a bit more career focused, they haven't done the same. They haven't gone and lived in Japan and done these things. So if I've been able to do that with no money, I understand there's times if you had a kid or you wanted a house or something, of course you need to provide a little bit more. But when you're not having to do that, it seems strange to me that I would suddenly switch my mindset after doing all these things that I found amazing with no money, and money would suddenly become important to me. So I think that maybe is the difference. And I don't know, maybe if you come from money or you have money, you value it a little bit more. I don't know.
When I offered you to come to this live, I thought your main career was being a model, because we have a group of friends, and I remember at the beginning when we were getting to know each other, I did later, but first in the WhatsApp group chats, common friends said, "Oh, we've seen Jérôme in this advertising, in the cinema." And so, I've dig a little bit on internet. So I saw that you worked for big fashion brands and also big brands in general, for cars, for clothes, and etc. The money you get from those jobs, are they a way to push the creativity in your hobbies, or is it to keep some earnings aside? What?
Yeah, I would say creativity needs time. Like it's not impossible to do it without. But last year I did a job for I think like 9 months, working like 9 until 6. I couldn't be as creative when I got home. Yeah,
locked.
And I kind of thought, when people complain before about not having the time to do their own things after work, if you have all the time, you kind of roll your eyes. But then when you do a job, even if it's an office job, it's not digging holes. It's not like you're physically tired, but mentally you are tired. I saw that like it's not easy to come home from a 9 to 6 and then do your own thing creatively.
Yeah, because you also bring job with you. Like you're still thinking about the things you didn't solve. And
yeah. So I think time is the biggest thing. So having something that pays for you to have more time. I could have earned a ton more money working in an office over the time, because there's times that as a model you might do one job and it's a lot of money, but then you don't work for 6 months afterwards. So that money's got to spread out. So somebody working a 9 to 5 is earning way more money because they have a stable income throughout this time. And also, I think everybody knows what it's like when you get a big payday. It's like, oh, I'm going to buy this and this, and like, poof,
Yeah.
all gone.
Totally understand. About this model career, I'm always asking you because I'm so curious because I only know it from the side of the women.
Mm-hmm.
Can it be a source of money, of income for all your life, or are you planning it like, are there opportunity
For me or
sometimes
like in
for you?
general? For me, no.
Okay.
I always look at it that it was something that I didn't earn. It fell into my lap.
Okay.
And so I've never really... I give value to it because I enjoy it. But it's not... I meet some people and they really want to be a model or an actor. And I always say that I always feel a bit disingenuous when people ask me if am I a model or an actor. Because when I meet people that actually want to be models, I feel like, I don't want it like you want it. So I feel a bit... It doesn't feel right to say yes.
Okay.
Or if you're doing a casting with an actor, I don't feel right saying that I'm an actor because I'm not. I'm kind of in between the two, but doing it without too much passion, unfortunately, because it's just not my avenue. So I always look at it, it's almost like I found some money on the floor and the money's going to run out. And it's running out now.
And I'm asking you specifically on this point because on your model profile on your agency website, you have also linked to your videos where you are doing the candle crafting, the tufting, everything you do that we will speak about now. So I thought that maybe all those hobbies that you were promoting on Instagram were maybe a way to create this famous personal branding that everyone is speaking about. Because in my corporate job, they also ask us to, on LinkedIn, to post our hobbies and link it some way to some capitalist ambitions. So I do hike because I want to superate the goals and show my strengths because you can rely on me. If I have a strong body, I must have a strong mind, etc. But it's not your case.
No, and I think that that's something that I've failed at quite heavily. I've been doing this for 6 years now, and I've done some cool jobs and made some money.
Okay.
But I've not really done it properly. I should have been posting a lot more on social media because that's the way that you do get attention. Because sometimes you do get brands contact you directly through social media. I didn't really play the game very, very well because it wasn't like a passion of mine. And I think being from the north of England, people make fun of it.
Fun of what?
Like anything that's... I think in the north of England we have this trait that if you are complimentary about yourself, it's something to be like poked fun at. Like it's a really strange thing. So if you walked into the pub with a group of people and said, "What do you do?" and you said, "A model," you're gonna get them. Everyone's gonna make fun of you for the rest of the night. You know?
In a nice way or in
a very English way. I would say that English people have a thing that sometimes the meaner you are to somebody, the more affectionate you're being. Maybe it's more with guys, and it's a bit. It's really stupid. But if you're at the pub and you're making fun of someone, usually it's because they're a close friend. You wouldn't really do it to somebody you didn't know.
Okay. So you're speaking about collabs in social media. Just to clear that, how did your nickname come? What Sandboy mean?
Well, we have a mutual friend, Dave.
Yes.
You know very well. He's a very silly boy, and me too.
Okay.
It was a joke
no
that
saints.
it was a joke that we had skateboarding, and it was as simple as that. We just always used to see the bus for Sant Boy, and there's no in-depth feeling to it. It's just something that I find funny, that they find funny, which to me is like, that's what creativity should be. It should be playful and fun, and it doesn't matter that it means nothing to anybody else. So it has no deep meaning other than it makes me laugh, because if I was to become more successful with it, you'd have people having to say Sant Boy the way that we say it.
But do you want me to call you Sandboy or Jerome in this interview? Jerome. Okay, so you just said that social media for you, you were using it to express yourself, but you don't use it to the fullest. I've seen a video of yours where you were looking for collabs, and I saw also the collaboration with Rosa's Crafts.
Yeah.
which is a Spanish brand linked to the craft and textile scene. So how did you find this collaboration? Or what type of agreement do you have? Did they find you? Were you searching for them?
So the rugs that I make, I already use their wool.
Okay.
So I'm now trying to go through a process where I'm trying to target some companies I would like to work with and use social media a little bit better, even though I've kind of missed the boat. It feels like the glory days of social media, in terms of using it to collaborate with brands and things, it's getting harder and harder, I think.
Because of the number of people?
Yeah, it's overly saturated, and the things that people are making now is really good. So I think before, if you were somebody that had a camera and a bit of expertise, your stuff would stand out. Whereas now, you just have to have a good eye because the iPhone and things are so good. But also people's skills are going up so much because I think the more social media and the more content that you ingest, the more you start to have a better taste of what looks good and what doesn't.
Okay.
So everybody's constantly on their phones and they're seeing endless streams of content, which means they're starting to understand that, oh, the lighting looks good here. And maybe they don't know why, but they know that that looks good and that doesn't. So I think that's why it's oversaturated, because the level is higher and higher.
Yeah. And actually, I was thinking that because also preparing this interview, you left me some notes about your sports. How do you say?
Trips.
Yes, and you were telling me about the tour you made of Spain with your bike. So I was searching if other people were making it, and I saw so many different versions of what you just said. No, I did it with a cat. I did it with 5 dogs. I did it without food. I did it without water.
Yeah.
And so it was a little bit overwhelming. And then, as a creator, for me, it's I think I didn't change the way I'm posting. Now I'm posting new stuff with this podcast, but before, like, I'm still posting the drawing the same way I was doing it 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And now I start to see that I have to change the method because of AI, because people are not impressed anymore by your personal style. They can do the same, or they can ask in my style AI to do what they want. So indeed, they are not impressed anymore. So as a creator, do you think that social media is a pressure? Is it like crushing us with this constant comparison? Or on the contrary, we can make maybe new alliances? Or to prepare this podcast, I'm contacting so many people I would never have contacted if I had to know someone that would give me the phone number or the email or find the website. What do you think? How do you leave social media?
I think for creatives, it's a good thing. Even for example, I did a job with a photographer from New York, maybe 5 months ago, and she was talking about the changeover, about how she's now having to put so much effort into social media and things. But then she was saying it's made her literally have to up her game so much, because the people that aren't photographers and videographers, their level of content, because of the tools that are available to them, is so good, of somebody just knowing how to film themselves, or just knowing angles, or even just being in a situation like going to a volcano or something and just getting good content. It means that if you are a creative, I think it means that you have to up your game and find the new way of standing out.
Okay.
If you're a photographer or videographer, your career is already hard because you have to stand out in a sea of other people doing the same thing with the same tools. But at least before, it was separate, that it was almost like civilians and professionals. Whereas now, you can almost have the same look as because we're ingesting so much content, we're not really questioning, is it professional or not anymore? You're just scrolling through. And it's like, that looks nice, that doesn't look nice. You don't really need professional equipment to look professional anymore, I would say. And some do stand out, but I think it's so overly saturated. So I think it's a good thing. It's a difficult thing, but I think it's, for some people, it makes them... For example, you said that you've been posting the same way for 10 years, but you're wanting to grow a certain way. So that's pushed you to try something different, whereas maybe you'd have done it for another 10. So if it's something that you are wanting to grow from, then it's good that it's pushed you, I guess. But I guess if it's something you're making your living from, I say my side is more of a hobby style thing.
Okay.
Maybe I would feel completely different if that's how I made my living, and like, so I agree with your point as well that it's so easy to connect with people, and so many people are happy to speak to you about things.
Yes.
There's a guy that I follow, and he just makes these amazing things, and he just replies to my messages all the time because I'm just saying, hey man, this is really cool. Like, oh, how did you do this? So I think that's a good thing. It's I think with social media, you have a lot of people that gatekeep things, which is the other side. So people will make things. So the guy that I speak to, he's really cool and he's really open to answer questions. I feel like sometimes you get the opposite, and people they don't want to tell you how they've done it or this. So I guess you get a balance of both.
Okay. And so at the moment it's hobbies. You've showcased several hobbies. I have the list here because I made the list. Tufting, candle making, glasswork, sewing, ceramics, furniture making. Do you have a favorite creation of yours?
Maybe the sofa. Just because it always freaks people out that I've made a sofa.
Yeah, because they have no time to think about it if they have a corporate job like me. You did it for your house?
Yes. Yeah.
Is it still...
Yeah, it's still going.
Oh, okay,
still
perfect.
Going, still good.
Good quality then.
Yeah.
You made it carefully. One project that you wish you could do?
Ooh. I would like to, at the minute, I've been doing a lot of stained glass.
Yeah.
So I'd like to do a big stained glass window somewhere. There's a creator that I follow recently, and he did this really cool thing. You know, in LA, they had all the fires.
Yes.
So a lot of them were in really rich neighborhoods. So you had this really unique thing that a lot of old, like vintage cars, but expensive ones, were getting scrapped. And I can't remember, I think he's called TV Cowboy maybe. And he has a glass studio, but he's doing typical like windows and things. And he got hold of like a really old Porsche that was burnt out that they were going to scrap. And he replaced the windows with like vintage stained glass from old churches. And now they've suddenly catapulted into the art world because it's like this crazy thing. And he does an interview, and he's with an art collector, and he's telling him that, hey, I've only been in the art world for 6 months. And the guy's like, what? What do you mean? He's like, yeah, I saw something. It looked cool. I had an idea. I did it. And now we're in this completely different space than we were before.
Yeah.
So I'd like to explore stained art a little bit, because when I started doing tufting and making rugs,
Yes.
in lockdown,
Big rugs.
yeah, in lockdown it got oversaturated because it like blew up. I feel like stained glass still hasn't blown up the same way yet.
Oh, be
And
careful
maybe
after this live.
year, maybe next year stained glass is going to be the thing that everybody sees everywhere.
Are you searching for to be one of the early birds in hobbies? Is it fun for you?
Maybe, but more just in the way I would like someone to send me some free glass.
Yeah, it's expensive.
All my hobbies are expensive. I go from expensive hobby to more expensive, and right now glasses, the price are insane. So if you can be one of the first creators, then I guess you're more likely to make collaborations with people. And it's for me, it's the point that you can explore more if you have more materials.
Yes.
Because there is a financial restraint if you don't have a lot of money to... Wool is crazy expensive, which is why I was so happy to have the collaboration with Rosa Crafts.
Yeah.
Because it means that I can work with them to explore the craft a little bit more, but without it costing me like €200 a rug, which is not sustainable when you're just trying things out.
Do you... What's the agreement with them? Are you promoting the name? Are you bringing them, referring them? Do you have coupons? Is it private?
No, it's all quite new. They saw my rugs and they messaged me, and it was I spoke to the ladies and they were just like super nice. It was a nice challenge to do the meeting in Spanish and things. And yeah, they just said come up with a couple of videos and we'll go from there. So I think we're going to speak again soon to maybe do a bit more targeted things. But for them, it's just like a new avenue, you know, because they sell wool.
Yeah.
And one of those rugs that I make, it uses like 50 balls of wool. So
wow.
It's a good market to be in if you're selling wool.
Yeah, and it's coming back like before grandma, like it was a grandma activity until very few years ago.
Yeah.
And I remember my grandma making sweaters and us making fun of the sweaters. A little bit like in Harry Potter. When
Yeah, my grandma's the same. My grandma, she was I found like, she passed away last year, and we found all the stuff in her house, obviously, and she has this, it's like an application, and it's like occupation, knitter. Like, that's literally what she did as a job. Not a hobby, like as a job.
Okay.
And I remember in the spare room in my grandma's house, they had like these bags of wool. And being
It's
like a
the
small
moment
kid,
to come back to grandma's house.
Yeah, no, it's not. But I remember thinking that the bags were like as tall as me, and the image in my head is like almost swimming through this wool. And now, knowing how much wool costs, back then, no, but I think like it's a gold mine.
For sure.
Yeah, all gone though.
So, coming back to Barcelona, do you think, because you answered before, Barcelona is very special in terms of it's Mediterranean, we have the sea, we have the nature, we have the mountains, but there is something more about the city with all those creative. Do you think it's influenced your professional life or hobby life or?
Yeah, I think it's very easy to be inspired in Barcelona. I think all you have to do is go on a bike ride and it kind of gets the creative juices flowing. So yeah, I'd say so. I think, I think the location of where you're trying to be inspired matters a lot. And maybe you can be in like a rainy place and have, if you're a singer, have a sad song come to you.
Paris is really rainy and really beautiful. I'm sorry.
Yeah? Are you...
Well, I prefer Barcelona, obviously, but people say it's really beautiful and romantic with the rain. Or...
Yeah, I guess it depends on like what you're doing and how you look. I think being from England, it doesn't like, it switches my brain off, you know? The creative juices don't flow when I'm in the rain. I just want to be in the sun.
There is a very common reason for international to leave Barcelona, because I've been here for 13 years and I've listened to this argument so many times. Like people say, I can't stay here if I want to develop my career because I have too many distractions. People here, every day you have festivals and how do you say talleres? How do you say talleres in English? Workshops to develop some skills, and you could do 2 or 3 activities a day, and people don't know how to contain that. Do you agree on the fact that it's a city where it's difficult to focus, or is it a multiplicity of opportunities?
I guess my viewpoint's a little bit biased because I've been lucky to have so much free time.
Okay.
But the way I look at that scenario is, it's like, well, there's something that's I think your life's meant to be like a book, and it's meant to have these chapters that are really, really interesting. So if you're saying you're in an interesting chapter, but it's too interesting, that's a bit crazy to me. But I understand like how people think that way, that maybe they're looking to jump their career or this, but I think having too much to do is a good problem to have.
I'm totally agreeing.
I don't want to have this chapter of my life being like, and then the chapter ends and it's like, there wasn't that much to do, but I got a bit more money. It's like, that doesn't make any sense to me, because usually what you spend your money on is doing nice things. Yeah. So if you left somewhere that there's too many nice things to do to get more money, the money's probably going to be spent on doing some nice thing. It's a bit circular.
I'm going to ask a very difficult question, and you're not obliged to answer this one.
Go.
But do you think it makes you a better person to be able to explore your whatever you want to explore?
What do you mean by like better person? Like
calmer, more empathic? Do you think it's more easy for you to... do you go to bed satisfied, or do you have also this pressure of doing more, better, faster all the time?
No.
Okay.
But I think it's more. I think the reason that I do a lot of things is because I think I'm quite a simple boy. Like the way my brain works is quite simple. So the sofa is the one that most people are not freaked out, like, what, you made a sofa? But to me, it's you make a wooden frame, you cut out some foam, you sew the fabric around the foam. That's a sofa. So I think if you really break things down like that, it's not that everything's simple. It's just it takes the complications out a little bit. So I think because my mind's a bit simple like that, I don't really feel the pressure of. But I do think that comes from the privilege of having the modelling as the backup that there is a lot of money then when it comes. Without that, I don't think I would have been able to do the same thing. So I'm not oblivious to the privileges that I've had from something that I haven't earned. So it's a very biased view, because I'm not, in my head, I'm like, why is not everyone doing this? Is that because I've been gifted something almost? And as I say, I think time is the thing that you need as a creative. So it's hard to answer comparatively to other people's experience, because
it's really different.
It's a really unique situation to be in, and I'm very fortunate to have fallen into it.
I was asking you that because in my job, I'm a salesperson in an IT company. Having the time to work on your culture helps a lot to connect with clients. Actually, the work is not enough. And for example, with graffiti that I did when I arrived in Barcelona, I learned how to, because graffiti seems easy because it's just a spray and you do it quickly and it's almost always not done as you wish. You learn how to accept criticism and to deliver some stuff that are not perfect, some stuff that I think school is not learning you and corporate job is not teaching you either. So I really think that people that do have hobbies, and it's going to sound a lot like LinkedIn, but are indeed more prepared for the challenges in general of life. That's one side. But how do you stand out in your hobbies? You were talking about the guy that was doing stained glass creations and replacing windows. For me, the only thing today that makes the difference is if you do art for yourself or you do it for others. We are so full of content of look how pretty or handsome I am, or look how good I'm doing that, or how strong I am, etc. The only thing that makes that people want to follow you is learning the process, but also to join it. And I really think that's the difference with the people that are creating today. Talking about social media again, have you ever received messages from haters?
In later life, no.
Good.
In general, like in younger life, like back in the Facebook days, yes, but not from creating anything, just from existing. So not from doing this, no, not really.
You have a healthy community.
I don't know if it seems that the more I post, the more I lose followers recently. So it'll go like 23 followers gained and like 27 lost.
Yeah.
I'm losing more followers from posting
It's
than not.
the same for everyone because they add you and then they forgive you exist and then they see you again and they're like, oh no.
But yeah, I think it's quite easy to get sucked into the thing of social media, that almost validating what you're doing from the numbers. Because I think social media is a great marketing tool and a way to make community, but it shouldn't be the be-all and end-all. Unless that's what you want to do, I guess. If you wanted to be an influencer, have at it. But I think a mistake that a lot of people make with social media is they start to get followers, but they don't know how to convert that into what they want to use it for. We have a friend, Cormac, and he's smashed it on social media. He does like fashion things, and he started off. I remember I took a screenshot of his Instagram when he started posting to try and gain followers. He had 1,000 or something followers. He's done like 15,000 now. He just quit his job.
Cool, good for him.
Yesterday, I think he said, to like focus on it.
Okay.
He's like killing it, but he's also doing personal training. So he's using the social media thing that he's got to then get, and that's the way it should be used, I think.
Okay.
I think if you're just making things for likes and things, you could have 200,000 followers. It's not going to mean anything because you might get some free things, but you need to have like a bit of a plan of how to use it because it's a tool. It's a tool if you want it to be a tool, whereas it can also just be something that you enjoy doing, I guess.
Okay. In my case, it was always a hobby, but a necessary hobby, which means that the community I built over the last 10 years are extremely reactive. When I offer something, I can see that they're here. And that helps a lot if I want to make something a little bit bigger, for example, an exhibition or show, they always here. But I've never put really effort in sharing about my personal life. Or you see, I publish my drawings. Sometimes I also publish my friends. It looks my personal Instagram is also my professional Instagram. So I still think that influencers are going to be less and less a thing, at least how we knew them until now. Like, for example, I don't know, Mr. Beast at the beginning was throwing money and giving money in the street, and now he's doing these super short videos. This person evolved from the beginning of influencer to a totally different concept, and I don't think today it could work again. Same thing with the TikTokers, super famous TikTokers. For example, in France, you have this model, Barbecan, that started to do makeup in the metro as a man. So it was super shocking. Now, makeup for a man. But now TikTok trends, I was checking online, they run in roughly 90 days cycle. It's really, really short. And if everyone do the same at the same time, the identity of the person is lost over the activity. There is this model doing that, but we don't care anymore of the opinion of the person. The only thing that counts is the influence on the life of other people. For that, I'm really sure, and I hope I will be right in the next years. Okay, so when you try new things, do you think it's better this, as you said, to have the plan, or you can just throw some stuff at the wall and see if that sticks?
Stuff at the wall.
Okay.
100%.
Okay.
I think if you overplan things, number one, it's very unlikely that people do them. I think if you have an idea of a hobby that you want to do, buy the materials and the things you need, and then it's just in your house. And it's way easier than if you plan too much sometimes, or plan for the perfect thing, it just doesn't materialize a lot of the time. But if you want to do stained glass, so you buy the machine and it's just there staring at you and it's like, it's 200 euros, you're going to do some stained glass. So I think for my case anyway, it's the impulsiveness is best to act on it in the moment. Otherwise, at the minute, I have a list of 50 ideas. They're not going to get done until they're just done in the moment,
Okay. You have a list of 50 ideas?
I think I've got 30 things on my list that I'm I want to clear the list.
Okay.
But it's stupid. I could just let them go, So I think if you don't do things again, I can only speak from personal experience, but doing things in the moment is when stuff gets done. Planning too much, for me, it rarely works out. It's more I just need to get on with it and do it.
Okay. Do you plan of... Is it possible in your mind that suddenly one of those mini passions become your main activity? Because I asked you about tufting, because at one point you were doing so many rugs that I thought that maybe you could, I don't know.
Yeah, weirdly it's the one that does the best, and it's the one that I have not grown out of, but it's the one that it's not scalable, and I don't enjoy it for my own personal doing it anymore to make it my main hobby.
Okay.
I think I've done enough of them that I enjoy doing it, but it doesn't have the same, I don't get as excited as before. Before, you have the big frame in your room and it would be, you'd wake up in the morning, it's half done, it's I'll do a little bit before breakfast, I'll do a little bit before this. Whereas now it's the two I just did for Rose's Crafts. It was a day solid of tufting, and by the end I was a bit
and it's
I'm
long.
ready to, So, I don't know if it'll ever be one thing. I want to be someone that's multifaceted and I can work on any materials that there are. So when I worked in prop making, that's kind of what it was. And that's kind of what I enjoy, the new challenges. And then you never know what you're going to be able to mix up and combine. But so next I want to work with some metal, and then I think I've kind of ticked most of the big ones off.
Okay. Do you think that we should monetize our passions? Because even if you're not planning to make a life out of it, you're promoting them on social media. And also maybe to have some collabs and have some free material, but like, should we all do that? Or do you think it should stay indoors more? Because, for example, in my corporate job, we are constantly doing little art stuff as team buildings. And it's super weird because you see people, they didn't touch paint in so much time, or just they're lost. Suddenly they have to do. They'll tell them, like the art teacher says, "Oh, do whatever you want," and they're like, "Oh mon Dieu, where should I start?" Or even as if it would be like like super private.
Yeah, I think people are scared of failing and like not being good at things, which is crazy when you think about it like that. It's like that's process is a part of everything. You can't be good at everything. And I think it's quite necessary for adults to have those moments. I think that's why, weirdly, adults like skiing and snowboarding so much at the start when they're so bad at it, because you can make so much progression in a day. The first time you snowboard, it's terrible. You're just lying down all the time. But that first day that you do a little run,
okay,
that's quite a unique experience to have as an adult, I would say, to be so bad at something.
No, but you were a skater. Maybe for you it was easier.
But you know what I mean? It's like people... Like you said, people haven't touched paints and things like that because they look at it as something that they might be bad at, so they prefer to not do it than be bad at it. And actually, the whole point is kind of to be bad at it. I think it's necessary as an adult to keep like a bit of playfulness, a bit of... To me, that's what creativity is. It's playfulness. It's unlikely you're going to have a really serious person that's really creative because I guess your brain works a little bit different. Like... Creative people usually are very good with kids and things because it's just playing, a lot of it is playing. Whereas if you see someone and they're worried about doing a painting, like you say, a team building, because they might look bad, it's not always that they take themselves too seriously, but it's maybe we lose a little bit of something as we get older that is like, I don't know, like who cares if you're bad at painting? You're not a painter. Yeah. It's like, it's meant to be fun. It's not meant to be something that's judged or... It's meant to just be a part of you that's fun and expressive.
That's why they also serve wine during these team buildings, so people relax and then they can play with the little paintings. Okay, do you have any project that, or any hobby that really didn't work out? You thought this one was a loss.
All of them at the start. All of them at the start, which to me is the whole point of it. It's... You should be failing at things and trying new things, and you're not going to enjoy everything. You're not going to be good at everything. You should try things impulsively, and maybe you're really good at something, but you just don't like it. Maybe the opposite thing happens. So at the start, like all of them.
Okay.
Like every single one, it's maybe you're more inclined to...
The first time you made the sofa, for example.
Yeah. No, it was actually my second time at a sofa, actually. But yeah, all of them at the start. But right now I'm doing a lot of sewing and I'm having a nightmare with the machine, and it's sewing's so infuriating when it's not going right.
Oh, I'm sure.
It's so infuriating.
Because
like
it's small, no?
rethreading, it breaks. But to me, this is kind of the process that I'm getting so much better so quickly by being so bad at it. Because I'm getting so annoyed and I'm having to like troubleshoot every little bit. And to me, that's kind of not the goal, but the way to work with materials. You have to understand the materials to then know the limitations, to know what you can do. It's not the only way to be good at it, but it helps a lot. Because with a tufting or now making a rug, I understand the lines that don't work well because they just wouldn't work well. With the stained glass, I understand the cuts that it's not possible to make that because the glass won't break that way. It's going to cut off this way. With the sewing now, I understand the machine because I've taken it to pieces 10 times.
Okay.
And once you understand it, it's easier to do the craft because you understand how it works.
Okay.
So I think that, to me, is one of the better ways of learning, by making a lot of mistakes and kind of troubleshooting your own mistakes and being like, okay, so wool works this way, glass works this way, metal works this way. And then you can kind of have a bit more fun because you're not making mistakes and getting frustrated.
I have one of my best friends here. He decided every 6 months he has a little bit like you, he has a new idea. He tried tattoo. So I've seen the beginning, the first tattoo he made was on New Year. Everyone was drunk. Obviously, no one really realized that he was tattooing people in the party. And then also sewing. And I see more and more young men doing artsy stuff. Something that in my generation I didn't see. Like I felt that our generation, guys our age are a little bit more.
But do you think it was just hidden because with social media you see what everyone's doing now? Do you think like maybe the guys were doing this stuff, but it wasn't as seen? Is that there's a really interesting thing with left-handedness. We spoke about this the other day. Now, the graph for the amount of people that were left-handed suddenly spiked.
Yeah.
And someone explains a graph, and it's not that people suddenly became more left-handed. Yeah, exactly. And it's just it was a time when it was accepted, whereas before you were stigmatized for being left-handed. It was tried to be forced out of you, and as soon as that went away, so maybe because things are a little bit more open, guys are more I don't know, or maybe not.
Are people were people around you doing creative stuff, guys accepting to do it with you? Because in my case, no, all the little cutting paper graffiti was different because it was really male dominated 10 years ago when I arrived in Barcelona. I speak about that in a previous podcast, and I think the illegal part of it attracts
danger.
Yes, a little bit of the
bad boys.
Yes, the bad boys, and women that do it, or they are doing extremely girly forms, showing the world that they are not part of any graffiti gang, or they are also a little bit alternative, let's say. But it's really defined. You didn't have for a long time many different profile in graffiti for women, and I feel like still today, younger generations are blurring the gender's limits. But for us, I still feel like some disciplines are made for women and other for men. Stupid stuff. The other day I was commenting the podcast about my twerk teacher, and a friend of mine said, "Oh no, but all this dance stuff are for girls." And he didn't say twerk, because twerk has the reputation to be just for women. But dance in general, and I turned to him, and I know there are plenty of dancers, but there are some stuffs that are sticking, some prejudices, I feel, still.
Yeah, yes. My half brother Jordan's a dancer, and he went through in the north of England.
Okay.
This was
in the pub. They were making
this
fun
was
of
like
him.
at school, and he started breakdance.
Okay.
And yeah, I remember him getting bullied mercilessly.
Break dance, but it looks more acceptable
back
than
then
ballet.
it wasn't in the slightest. And then he did Ballet Boys, which is like contemporary ballet and like a more modern setting. And yeah, I remember the things. But then the thing was that he got in absolutely incredible shape, like picturesque body, and he's just hanging around with ladies all the time.
Okay.
And all these guys are like, "Oh, okay, maybe, we made the mistake." But yeah, the stigma was still there, and especially in the north of England, it's so. Yeah, back to your point of the crafts thing, I think maybe crafts is. I don't know as many ladies doing it either, though. But from my friends.
So do it, ladies. It's the moment to go. And
I don't think I know many people actually that are doing little bits. Like, people like to go to the wine and paint and things, but I don't know many people that have a hobby in the same way. I never really thought about that before, but no, I don't.
And also the type of people that are doing it, like I'm regularly visiting galleries in Barcelona, and again, Barcelona is an exception for me. I didn't travel as much as you, and I would like you to confirm, but at individual level, we can be whoever we want. No one cares. You have so many different, unique profiles in Barcelona. And I was doing the tour of galleries to see if I could sell my art somewhere. And the other day I was listening, to some people commenting, saying like, "Hey, look at those artists, blue hair, the cliche of the creatives that are a little bit sensitive, most of the time gays or from a minority because all those oppressed people, they have to express then. Like there are some also sticky prejudices towards creativity in general, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's different approaches to what art is. You have the contemporary artists that I think there is like quite a big class divide in a lot of things. But
so in Barcelona, do you have a favorite spot to get inspiration or on the contrary to make us some resets?
I think just going on the beasting. I just go and ride around on the bike. I think
It's called Smo now. It's not called beasting for a while.
No, the bikes are beasting, but the application's Shmoo.
Ah,
Because
okay.
they do like the parking and things as well.
Okay.
They did like an all-in-one, I think.
Okay.
Unless I'm wrong, I could be wrong.
No, you are probably right.
But I think they put everything together. But either one, taking the bike,
Okay.
taking the bike around.
Electric one because Gracia is.
They've changed
Going
them all
out.
to electric. Put some manual ones back. It's crazy.
Oh, there are.
I want the
plenty.
manuals.
The manuals are in the downtown. In the
Well, spread them around. I want some. I don't want the electric all the time.
okay.
But yeah, I'd say go on a bike ride, going down next to the beach.
Which one? Because
Any.
Barceloneta.
Barcelona on a morning for sunrise.
Okay.
I don't think there's anything.
Yeah,
wrong.
yeah,
Or for
true.
me anyway,
with all
there's
the people
nothing wrong
doing
with it.
the yoga on
Yeah,
the
yeah.
sea.
Yeah, I think the beauty of Barcelona is everything's outdoors. One of the things I remember the most about coming to Barcelona and it feeling different was going to a skate spot that was it had like a badminton court on it. And there was families out at like 11 o'clock at night playing badminton.
Okay.
In England, that's not a thing. Like families going out and doing sports together isn't really a thing. I think the lifestyle's a lot different. It's a lot more... I just think being outdoors, it's easy to be creative.
Yes.
Oh, for me anyway. Maybe for some people, they find it easier inside. But just being around a bit of hustle and bustle, I think it's the ideas come flowing.
Yeah, I totally get what you mean. For example, during a whole summer, we have these district parties that are prepared by the district cultural centers. So everyone creates those themes with paper and plastic and recycling stuff, because also Barcelona is a very or trying to be a sustainable city. And then, as you say, no, but young but also old people are staying in the street. Like so many times I'm a person that goes to bed really early and I see, I don't know, 4-year-old kids with a grandma that is 90 years old saying like, oh no, I want more wine or whatever they're drinking. So yeah, for me, this moment of summer creates, it's art, but it's popular art in the for the population. And that's the best moment in this creative city that is full of festival the whole year. Okay, we are getting to the end of this interview. Any topic that you would like to cover that we didn't speak about? Any word for a friend or...
Stupid Dave. No, I should have thought about this. This is like the end of a job interview. With like anything more
Do
to
you have
add?
any question for the company?
Is this a test? No, not that I can think of. Who's next on your podcast?
Oh, the next one is going to be a nutritionist.
Ah, very nice.
Specialist of the gut.
Ah.
And also, I have something to say that tomorrow is San Jordi, which is a very also important from a cultural point here in Barcelona. That's why I wear Amour on my sweater, because it's like the Valentines of Barcelona, and it's the legend of Saint George killing the dragon to save a princess. We don't know what he does with the princess, but he saves her from the dragon. And out of the blood of the dragon all over, because Saint George didn't do it in a clean way. He did it like a proper knight. Roses raised out of the blood. So it's the day where people exchange roses and books. But suddenly every shop of Barcelona decides to make their own version. So you have a lot of pastries that are made in form of a dragon or a rose or with the colors. you have desfile, you have clothes. So tomorrow is going to be one of the most creative day. And I think it's the perfect way to end up the interview of a creative person. Thank you, Jérôme.
Thank you, Roxanne.
Merci.